Here we have a new 2025 Cadillac Lyriq. This one comes in the Luxury 2 trim level with all-wheel drive. This color is Stellar Black Metallic. We get the Noir with Santorini Blue vegan leather interior. With an electric motor on each axle, it gives us all-wheel drive compatibility. 109 kilowatts is the DC fast charge speed, up to 319 miles on a charge with this vehicle in particular. To the front end here, we do get our LED signature lights along with our LED headlamps, and just a nice, sophisticated look for this Lyriq. Ever since it came out, it's really just a stunning vehicle. Down here, we get 20-inch alloy wheels, passive keyless entry, one-touch up and down windows, all 4 doors. And then we have our power folding mirror controls here. Those mirrors are heated and have blind spot monitors in them. Power door lock controls are here. We have our power seat with 4-way power lumbar and massage function there. Heated and cooled seats, memory seat functions, door handles there. 19 speaker AKG sound system, power liftgate button is there. Whatever's in the front space, we'll check that out here momentarily. You have your electronic parking brake, lane keep assist, headlamp controls are here, or you can see the trip meter or change the view of the gauge cluster. We'll come back to that after a while. Power tilt telescoping steering wheel. And there is the seat itself. Very nice look there. And I do want to give a huge thanks to Cadillac of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this vehicle today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But $69,909 is the sticker price on this one. Sitting behind myself, having the seat up front adjusted for someone 6'3" with longer legs. Pretty impressed by the space back here. Seat back pockets are on both sides, rear AC vents, 2 USB-C ports, and then a 3-prong household plug-in. I believe it's 120 volts. Now you do get a power sunshade with this panoramic roof here, but the sunshade is retracted. Bottle holders are here in the middle seat. And then we do have soft touch lights here on the side, and then grab handle there. And to the back end here, I love when you lock and unlock this car. It kind of looks like the lights do now. They're not flashing like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up. But they have this like choreography mode, and they just kind of dance, and it looks really nice. But pretty good amount of storage behind the second row. Top tethers are integrated on the back of the seats themselves. 12 volt. You got chargers in there, I believe. And you have a little additional space too. If you want to add like an inflator kit or something, that'd be pretty cool. But this is still an impressive buy, even though it's almost 70 grand. If you think about it, just for what you get here. I paid like 52 or no, it was like 56 sticker, I think, for my Mustang Mach-E. And that was the California Route 1. And I didn't get nearly as much on that as I have on this here. But hit this latch, and that'll fold flat. You can run longer objects through to the front. It's pretty easy to just snap it back into place. And then your lower latch anchors are hidden underneath these covers here. And where everybody's starting to put covers on the latches, these are some of the best covers I've experienced because they don't come all the way out, and you just kind of have to pull on them a little bit, fold them, and then you just snap them back into place. Pretty easy to do, as opposed to some other ones I've met. Now to the front passenger seat here. All of your controls are over here. You still get memory seat on this side as well, and heated cooled with the massage function. Now I like this down here because you can like basically put like a tablet or something in the middle here and run it off the USB-C charge port. And then you also have storage tray in there. And then your glove compartment, you have to hit the screen. And there is that. So again, just for the money, for this to be a Cadillac, the range that it has, the space that it has, the amenities it has, it's really not far off, in my opinion, for an EV. Really just a regular vehicle. But there is the front-mounted electric motor there. So I'll have to pop that again and close it. I didn't want to slam it, but I have to come over here anyway. So your charge port right in there, again, 190 kilowatts. So while I do that, I'm gonna show off the blinkers. And this is pretty cool. The blinker actually goes there, and then it wraps all the way up the side there. So what's crazy is if you're like in somebody's blind spot or whatever, and you turn the blinker on, they can pretty much see you from any angle. The turn signal indicators are really bright. And there are the turn signals for the front. Let's give this a nice shut. Now, that didn't sound right either, but it'll be all right. Now, hopping in the driver's seat here, we do get Super Cruise, which is great. There's the horn. Leather wrap steering wheel feels good. Now, for the Super Cruise, indicators there, and then your sensors right here. Now, to the screen here, what I like about the Lyriq in particular is you still get that wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility. On top of having your AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, Alexa, Google News, Google Podcasts. Of course, you get access to the Google Maps system as well with a subscription. Hit this controls button, you can go for your child safety locks and your rear window locks. That's where those are. So you can turn those on or off from the screen here. The charge port door can be opened from here. Auto high beams, traction control, it's just a lot of stuff here. And then your lights are in here as well. And your universal home remote, you can activate that from this screen as well. Auto park assist, you also have that. And it's actually a pretty good system. I've tested it out a few times. If I can just get out the screen, okay. And then your drive modes, Tour, Sport, Snow and Ice, then my mode there. And then your settings here, vehicle settings, you do get teen driver, rear seat reminder, buckle to drive, and then your Super Cruise lane change. I always like to turn that off. I don't really like it. But if you want to, you can use that. And then your system settings, you can change your language, units of measurement. And then your vehicle status here, you can see your tire pressure monitors. And then your energy efficiency. Now, in a lot of the other vehicles, you can see the oil life and the coolant life and all of that with this. But like, since it's an EV, all you have is the tire pressure and then the energy usage and the efficiency. So it's just pretty funny. So all the sub-menus, that's really all you get there. Now for the backup camera, there's that. Front camera's there. You also get the overhead view and the curbside view. Your one pedal's always down here, which I like. You could turn that on or off and then set the level there. And I like to keep it on normal. And then your ambient lighting, if you want to fool with that, you can do that as well. Customize it to your liking. Dual zone automatic climate controls, we can control that from the screen, or we have buttons down below. And I like how this is set up because you can adjust pretty much everything you need here, even the auto mode. But it's just a nice picture here. And on top of that, your heat and AC, you can adjust those as well as use them down here. Now your volume knob is right here. Scroll up or down, you can click it to mute. And then you have your shortcuts here, so you can pull up the maps with the touch of a button. You can pull up the phone, touch of a button, home button, all of that there. And then you can use the scroll bar as well to go through the different options. Center console cubby space, we have a USB-C and a 12 volt in there. Wireless charging pad. Up here, rear camera mirror. I get so many videos, like so many people telling me in my videos, thank you for making a video about this, because I started to make shorts just showing you where the hazards button is in these newer vehicles, because it's nowhere down here and no one would think to look like up here with the OnStar button to find this little triangle. but you can adjust your sunshade, this button here. And there's a look at the back seat from up here. And you can see it's just black, so that's what that looks like when it's shut. And then your vanity mirror here. Now wipers are over here. Rear wiper as well. Or actually, that's for the rear camera washer. So that's all that does. You don't have a rear wiper, but front wiper fluid is there. And then the shifters on the columns will hit the brake, pull for neutral, pulling up for reverse, pulling down for drive, press P for park. And then you have a button you can use on the side if you don't have the one pedal on to adjust the regenerative braking. Now over here, voice recognition, mute, track list, radio station presets can be toggled, Bluetooth. Hit this button to go through your audio sources. And when you click that, it'll pull up there and you can use the scroll bar to go through everything, and then volume can be adjusted here. Now over here, cruise control. If you want to turn the adaptive off, hold this here and you can go into the regular cruise. And then you just hold it again to get it back to adaptive. And then that heated steering wheel toggles here. But the super cruise, once the adaptive cruise is on and ready, you can turn that on there. Adjust the gap adjust for the cruise here and then set the speed right there. Push button start. And finally, here we have the key fob with remote start. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Cadillac Lyriq Luxury 2 out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Lyriq here, in tour mode, it's a pretty tame vehicle. And I mean, overall, just the ride quality here, it's a tame vehicle in general. The only complaint I've ever had about the Lyriq is a lot of the time the overall just steering feel can be a bit numb, especially if you're used to driving a Mustang Mach-E like myself. But the luxury for an EV is probably top tier, if not second behind the Mercedes EQS. And I think one of the reasons that these cars sell so well is if you want a Mustang Mach-E, like I have a rear-wheel drive Mustang Mach-E, and that's just one of the sportiest EVs I've ever driven. It's not the quickest, but just the overall stiffness, just how it feels with your hand on the steering wheel, all of that. But here, this thing will float down the road, and it's just really impressive because that's what most people in this segment want. Now I'm gonna put it in the sport mode and give it a nice pull here. Can't slow down because somebody's behind me, but here we go. Yeah, that power output is crazy. And I like that it shows you the kilowatts too, because that is a lot. Like a lot. Now we're gonna turn the cruise on. And Super Cruise is there, so that just basically activates the lane centering and all of that. And just a wonderful ride coming down the highway here. And very quiet, honestly. Just everything in here says luxury. It's so subtle, it's so sleek, just it's exquisite. That's probably the best way to describe it. I mean, it's just the sound acoustics in here. It's so luxurious. It's so nice. It's just elegant in every way. Now, I do want to give one more thanks to Cadillac of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Lyriq today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. So with all that I've experienced, just with this Lyriq in particular, I've driven several, but this Luxury 2 is just something else. I mean, the features that you get, having the sunroof, the all-wheel drive capability, the power output that comes with this, There's a Lyriq V that's coming, but I mean, this here is super quick as it is, and it's just crazy because the ride quality is phenomenal. So it really does feel like almost like a BMW EV, if that makes sense. I just feel like this thing rides so well, but then when you put your foot into it, it's just off to the races. And that's something that only BMW has been able to do for such a long time. You either get a stiff ride or you get a luxurious ride, but you don't have the power and things like that. So I'm just super impressed by this vehicle, and I think that's why so many other people have been impressed by it as well. And the Cadillac buyer, not really worried about taking, you know, traditionally is not really worried about taking longer trips. They trade in their cars and it has a $10,000 service bill, but they've only driven it 10,000 miles since it was new 6 years ago. And that's just what I've seen when I was selling cars. So this is gonna be great for those buyers. So you don't have the traditional maintenance of a North Star V8 Cadillac DeVille or even the newer CT5s. You have something that really doesn't need much. You want to drive it obviously for the battery life and things of that nature. Don't charge it up too much. Don't let it deplete. But it's just easier to maintain these. So if you want something that's luxurious and when you need to go to church on Sundays, you have something, I feel like this is the way to do it. And then also just the operating expense as well, not having to worry about gassing the vehicle up and things of that nature. This is very efficient for what it is. But I like it because you get the best of both worlds again here. If you want something sporty, the only downside here is just the driving dynamics, I think, because it does float down the road. It drives like a Buick Cadillac, like nothing I've ever seen. But the performance is there, the ride quality is certainly there, and if that's what you're looking for in a vehicle, you won't be disappointed with this thing. With all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Cadillac Lyriq Luxury 2.